You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 8th of December. PM Modi attacks Nehru and opposition Congress over Vande Mataram. India's Jaishankar meets EU Trade Commissioner as trade talks resume. And PTI leader slams government for worsening Afghanistan ties, economic fallout. And now for all the details. The winter session of the Indian Parliament entered a crucial phase on Monday as both houses held a discussion on the 150th anniversary of national song Vande Mataram. Initiating a day-long discussion in the Lok Sabha, Prime Minister Narendra Modi noted that Vande Mataram stood like a rock and inspired unity despite British oppression and gave power and inspiration to the entire country during freedom struggle. PM Modi slammed the Congress and accused India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru of having followed Muhammad Ali Jinnah in opposing Vande Mataram because it could irritate Muslims. On the opposition side, Congress leader Gaurav Gogoi participated in the debate countering the BJP's interpretation of history and challenged the ruling party's framing of Vande Mataram as a political symbol. The Rajya Sabha will take up the discussion on Tuesday, with India's Home Minister Amit Shah set to lead the government's arguments.
वंदे मातरम ये तो सामाजिक सद्भाव का काम है, लेकिन इतिहास इस बात का गवाह है कि कांग्रेस ने मुस्लिम लीग के सामने घुटने टेक दिए और मुस्लिम लीग के दबाव में किया, और कांग्रेस का ये तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति को साधने का एक तरीका था.
Moving on, India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar met EU Trade and Economic Security Commissioner Maros Sefcovic in New Delhi on Monday, expressing confidence that the delegation's engagements would be productive. The meeting followed last month's India-EU consultations in Brussels, where both sides reviewed the India-EU strategic partnership, a roadmap to 2025, and reaffirmed their aim to conclude the free trade agreement by year-end, along with faster progress on the investment protection agreement and the agreement on geographical indications. Talks on the long-pending FTA were scheduled to resume in New Delhi on Monday, with discussions focused on closing gaps in trade in goods and services, investment rules, government procurement and regulatory standards. Key sticking points include the EU's carbon border adjustment mechanism set to take effect January 1, market access for automobiles and steel, rules of origin and barriers in services. The EU is India's second-largest trading partner, and negotiators say substantial ground has already been covered. Moving on, Pakistan's opposition is intensifying its criticism of the government, with PTI leader Abdul Samad Yaqoob warning that Islamabad's policies towards Afghanistan and decisions on military leadership are deepening the country's political and economic crisis. A report.
In a sharp criticism of Pakistan's current military and foreign policies, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf leader Abdul Samad Yaqoob warned that the country's deteriorating ties with Afghanistan and its flawed internal strategies are driving Pakistan towards greater regional isolation and economic decline. In an exclusive interview with ANI, Yaqoob criticized the government's decision to seal trade routes and restrict cross-border movement, calling it a self-inflicted wound that undermines both regional diplomacy and economic stability.
Over eastern border. So at this moment, over western border has turned to be insecure, which was not expected. So it is increasingly isolating Pakistan in international community, and I mean these policies are disastrous because the neighbors matters the most. So Afghanistan, who till now, I mean till yesterday, we call them a brotherly country, has turned to be a hostile country.
Yaqoob also slammed the appointment of General Asim Munir as Chief of Defense Forces for another 5-year term, calling the move unconstitutional and undemocratic. He said that it is aimed at tightening the army's grip over the country's political and civilian institutions.
The post was created and appointed a person who is a de facto dictator of the Pakistan, who is exercising a dictatorial powers to curb and crush the political party. So we see this appointment as a very controversial and undemocratic.
Meanwhile, during a rally in Peshawar, PTI and its ally TTAP cautioned that imposing governor's rule in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa would have serious repercussions, while Chief Minister Sohail Afridi blamed state security policies for the region's instability.
And Pakistani forces allegedly launched strikes on 3 Taliban bases near the Chaman border over Friday and Saturday, killing at least 23 fighters according to multiple media reports. The operation followed Taliban's firing across the border, which was described as an unprovoked ceasefire violation, media reports said. So far, officials in Kabul have not commented on the Pakistani media claim, and there has been no confirmation of the reported casualties. Officials in Kabul, however, have reported that 5 people, including women and children, were killed in the cross-border clashes. Earlier, Taliban spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid confirmed the attacks in Spin Boldak and Kandahar, stating that Taliban fighters were forced to respond after Pakistani forces struck Afghanistan's territories. Tensions along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border have risen sharply in recent weeks, resulting in multiple casualties on both sides. Moving on, Sri Lankan MP Namal Rajapaksa met India's High Commissioner Santosh in Colombo and thanked India for its continued relief and rescue assistance under Operation Sagar Bandhu. Indian Army engineers working alongside their Sri Lankan counterparts are helping restore key connectivity in badly affected areas. India has sent nearly 1,000 tons of essential food items, with 300 tons delivered to Colombo on Sunday by 3 Indian naval ships. Cyclone Ditwah has brought relentless rain, flash floods and landslides across the island, submerging towns and damaging critical infrastructure. The death toll has climbed to 627, with hundreds still missing, according to Sri Lanka's Disaster Management Centre. A total of 1,289 houses across the country have been destroyed by the cyclone, while 44,500 more are partially damaged, according to the government, which is collecting data to provide long-term solutions to those living in high-risk areas. Extensive remains of major Buddhist complex have been uncovered in Zehanpora in Baramulla district of India's Jammu and Kashmir, marking a breakthrough that could reshape understanding of Kashmir's ancient cultural landscape. The excavation is being jointly carried out by the J&K Directorate of Archives, Archaeology and Museums and the Center of Central Asian Studies, University of Kashmir. Using drone-based imaging, high-resolution mapping and systematic ground verification, teams have identified several massive earthen mounds across Zehanpora. Initial assessments confirmed these were not natural formations but remnants of ancient man-made structures, likely stupas, monastic cells and other elements of a large Buddhist establishment. This points to a once thriving monastic center that may have been an important stop along historic routes linking Kashmir with Central Asia.
क्योंकि बहुत सारे जितने लिटरेचर है, लिटरेरी सोर्सेज है, इनकी बुनियाद पे और साइंटिफिक बुनियाद पे आर्कियोलॉजी जो हमें बताती है कि वाकई में यहाँ पे कोई सेटलमेंट रही है, तो अभी हम एक्सपोज करने जा रहे हैं। ये जो यहाँ पे एप्साइडल स्टूपा है, हरवन टाइप जैसा दिख रहा है ये, तो इसको एक्सपोज करने जा रहे हैं। इस साइड पे अभी तक जितने भी फाइंडिंग्स मिली है वो हमें शान पीरियड की ओर तवज्जो मौजूल करवाती है, जैसे कि पेबल स्टोन वॉल जो निकली है, पोट्री निकली है। कल हमें कुछ फाइंडिंग्स कॉपर की मिली है और जो अपसाइडल स्टोपा है उसमें अभी और भी एक्सकेवेशन करने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे 2-3 स्टूपा यहाँ साइड में भी जो अपर ग्राउंड में आपको दिख ही रहे होंगे।
That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow.